Hi everyone. Thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. I'm Deplorable Knitter and I'm joined this week. I'm joined all the time by Ann Pinkava. Hi Ann, thanks for joining me today. And
Well,
this week
I'm glad to
especially.
be here, even though it's earlier than usual. I know I complain every time, but
Maybe that's why I don't know what's going on, because it's we usually do this well after lunch and it's morning. So maybe that's why I don't know what we're doing. But good news, we have both knit this week. Can you believe it? So want to show us what you got going on, Ann?
sure. I said last week how I have to, get back in the groove of, knitting for profit. It's crazy concept, but I'm doing it. Anyway, so I finished the two hats. So this week I finished the Loki hat, and I think I had like a little striped bit of it last week. So woohoo! There's all the little helmets and everything, stripes on the bit. But yeah, it's nice. And remind me to say later about Disney shutting down everything that has Norse mythology in the title, because that's fun. And
Don't go away from that now. Tell us now. Like,
all right,
how can they don't own Loki, right?
yeah, okay. So half pause in the middle of the knitting for the politics. We got there early. Okay, so it's been a really rough week for pagans because
Okay.
not only have the sun worshippers at Stonehenge been shut down for COVID regulations, which is like, like we said, no religious service, even you guys, like, these people have been at Stonehenge for thousands of years now, but no, COVID says none of that. And then also, Disney has been going around online and shutting down any fan art that has words like Loki and Thor and Odin in it. And they say, oh, well, it's our copyrighted materials. It's like, no, you can't own
You can't own mythology.
or you can't own a mythological or a religious figure. I mean, can you imagine if the Catholic Church to like copyright Jesus? They would have done it years ago. Like they're like, why did they tell us that, Disney? But like, anyways, so they're fighting it, and a lot of people in Norway specifically are very upset that Disney thinks they can just waddle in and take, again, their culture. Talk about literal cultural appropriation, but.
That's insane. Like, I know they did it when The Mandalorian came out and everybody was making like Baby Yoda.
Right.
Like, but Yoda is a character that Disney owns. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it was Star Wars. They bought that property and they invented this new character with Baby Yoda. Okay? Like it makes sense. But
Right.
yeah, they don't own Loki. Like he's like no matter what crap they pull with the character, like they don't own him. It's a figure of myth. And I mean there's still, like I joked about it being a bad week for pagans, like there's still a certain amount of what we would consider Norse mythology sort of worship. So you're not you can't do that to people. Anyways, it's rude. But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
so all that being said, Loki hat.
Nice.
And
Turned out very nice.
Yeah, and I also finished out another Papa hat, which it's a video game thing. Surprisingly popular.
Yeah, she's told me in detail about this video game, and I'm like, for real? Like, for real? This is what people are ordering? Like, not that your work isn't good, but
no, sincerely, this video game is anime Perry. Like that is this game, and it's a lot of fun, but it's anime Perry Mason. It's Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Like there's this is stupid. I have a good time, but this is stupid. And yeah. Anyways, that there's only so many people who sit down and knit the hat. So, oh, and then I haven't actually done anything with it yet, but that for that somebody wants me to do another hat for their daughter who is into Nightwing, which is, as my understanding, you have Batman and Robin in the comic books goes off and he's no longer Robin, he's Nightwing now. He's his own hero. But I think there's more Robins later. I don't get it. But he has his own symbol. So apparently
Whatever works.
Apparently he has good comic books. I don't know. I'm not. But anyway.
Yeah, that's not one I know.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. But yeah, so I've been doing these little yeah, it's a big V point with like little jagged edges in it. And I know I'm trying to work on the head. Like the bottom one is a little more square and the top one I tried to do it, but the real logo is square. And I don't know. It's kind of like, oh, well, this kind of look. Yeah, sorry, I should bring it forward a little bit. It's like, oh, this kind of looks like Batman. I'm like, wait, that's kind of the point. That's sort of, yeah, this is a Batman derivative logo.
I haven't seen the actual Nightwing symbol, but I like the shape of the head on the top one better.
Right.
Because you can tell it's the head, you know what I mean? But I mean, if that's not accurate, then.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm just like, I don't know, it's weird, but it will, and also the colors are wrong. This is gold and looking different, that it's supposed to be like a bright blue on black, but this is just random yarn I'm using for sampling. So we'll look different eventually, but there we go.
Cool.
But yeah,
You've been busy this week.
Yeah, it's what I've been working on.
Cool.
Works out.
So on Saturday, I'm going to have today, when you guys are watching this, because it's going to be Saturday, 2 new patterns out. Yay. One is done. The other one, I was going to finish it this morning and I ran into an issue. It was a me thing, not my pattern thing. Just totally miscounted and the color work was wrong. So I have to go back and fix it. Mm-hmm. But it's good that worked out because I actually ended up doing a couple things at home that I needed to do. And then I just got called into work. So these things happen for reasons. Right. But anyway, my first one, which everybody is going to love, is this new Lions Not Lambs hat. And here is a lion, as you can see. And then if you look at the other side, it says Lions Not Lambs. And there's a little lamb. Aww. And this one's going to come in 2 sizes. I usually only do like an adult size, like a 1 size fits most. But this is got an adult small, which is more like a child teen size. I should probably just change it to say child teen size and then an adult size. Right. But yeah, so Lions Not Lambs, got that going on. Woohoo! And very excited about that. Uh-huh. And then this is the other one I'm working on. Can you see what color it is?
Oh, I can see it.
What do you think it might be? It's red.
It's
and
red.
White.
And white.
It's going to say Trump 1 on it.
There we go. I'm like, I can see a star and maybe, I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, you could see a star. How are you so good at this? Oh yeah, there's the star right there. See, it's starting.
Right.
Star.
Like star. I can see little points. And I'm just like, I just have guesses.
Well, I was talking to my mom about it and I was charting it and I said, I've got to do it in red with white because that's like, red hats are so triggering.
Oh, of course.
So triggering. So
did you see with the Trump rally in Ohio, he was flinging red hats into the crowd, walking up.
Were people crying? Were people crying and needing to go to safe spaces?
Oh, they were, again.
They liked it, right?
Happy and, like you can see, where they have the camera kind of at crowd level where you can just see the top of people's heads and he flung a hat into the crowd and up and grab. And like that awesome. Guy's the winner. Anyways.
I would not have won that game because I don't really have hand-eye coordination.
Right.
Like something's flinging over my head. I don't think I could get it. So
you're like, what?
What happened?
I don't know. It made me laugh. It's like, what's going on here? But
I'm glad he's doing it. And I'm glad he's still involved because for a while there, he was so quiet. I didn't know what that meant, you know?
Right. And so much of what he said was, I don't know, it was very much Trump. It was, it's the same things he's always going to say, that, we're going to win the midterms, but first we got to clean up the elections. But, it's very straightforward. Crisis at the border, this and that. And it wasn't, I don't know. And also, I admit I was doing other things while I was watching it, but it wasn't so much of a like new information. That there was a little bit, but not like substantially. But it was just like it's nice to hear you say it every once in a while. Just like all right, guys, we're back on this page. This is where we're going.
Right.
Like, all right, got it.
Well, it's good. I'm glad he's coming around. But before we get into more politics talk,
yes,
we don't want to forget, we have a giveaway to announce.
That's right.
Last week, when Sheila from Bigfoot Fibers was on, she had the beautiful gradient set of like creamsicle orangish yarn, which was very lovely and pretty. Yeah, and so we had almost 100 commenters. So thanks, guys, for commenting, because that's huge. It helps us. The more you guys interact with our videos, the better it is for us. I mean, we get more viewers, we get more exposure, which is what we're aiming for. So thank you. But our winner is Nancy Eisenbeis. I said that wrong, but Nancy, you probably know who you are, because you probably get it said wrong all the time. But you can email me. It's not so
bad having your name said wrong when you say that, when it's a winning.
When you're getting 5 skeins of yarn, I mean, come on, like awesome. But email me, deplorableknitter@yahoo.com. And I will make sure that you get hooked up with Bigfoot Fibers to get the prize. And congratulations, and thanks everybody for doing it. Yay!
Congratulations.
So, I don't know much about politics this week. Like, I know I say that kind of a lot, but we have a friend coming in this afternoon from Georgia. And so the past week or so in my house, it's been like picking up and cleaning things we don't normally do, because my husband, it's a very good friend, and he's very excited to have him visit us. And so I have been very, very busy helping to make sure that my house is like fabulous. Which it is. It's the cleanest it's been in a long time. And if we could all do this every week, it would be awesome. But I don't know. I think I'd get tired of it. A little dirt never hurt anybody.
Things to do.
But Anne watched the news, so we have that going for us. She at least watched more than I did. So what's happening?
Well, being me, I sort of I was catching up with a little bit of Australian news, a little bit of English news.
Before we do politics, if you guys are on Instagram, you probably saw, but our friend Amanda, who was making the Trump quilt, it got lost. It was supposedly delivered last Tuesday, June 20 something, and it was not. Nobody came to her door that day, even though the delivery company said it was delivered. And so for a whole week, the thing was missing. And then I think it was this Tuesday, it just randomly showed up at her house. So yay, that happened. And she was able to get it mailed out. And hopefully soon she'll be able to come on and tell us about, like, hopefully the president sends her, like, a gift basket or something, because it's so awesome. But I'm gonna at least get some pictures of it for you guys so that you can see it. But
it's really cool.
That happened. Yes. And then Murder Knits.
Yes. So yeah, some jerk tried to unperson Tabitha. Can't believe it. I was so mad.
Yeah. She lost access to all of her stuff for
somebody hacked her YouTube and her Instagram account and changed the password and deleted everything. It was not a ransom attack, which I think was very interesting. That it's like, well, you don't know who the perpetrator is, but it's like, why would you hack in and delete everything? That sounds kind of personal vendetta-y. But yeah, it's the internet. Who knows?
Yeah. And if by any chance you ever downloaded any of her videos, like, get in touch with her. murdernits@gmail.com, I believe. I'll double check that for you. But just in case you have one lying around, she would love it.
You're like, wow, I really love this episode. I really want to, keep.
Well, sometimes when you are going to be like offline or something, you might download something. So who knows?
Right. So if you are that guy, thank goodness. But yeah, she got her Instagram back and all of her Instagram photos back, and I believe she's trying to go back and forth with YouTube because it's the internet, and the internet is forever. They keep everything.
They do.
So trying to say, hey, it wasn't me, and figure that out. But from what I hear, she is planning on recording a new video, and I think luckily she said this past week that she was going to record, and then the camera wasn't working and everything, so she didn't. I'm like, oh good, so she has material to start with. But yeah
And also, this is a good reminder to everybody, like, make sure your passwords are up to date, get 2-step verification on your account, so that if somebody does try to hack you, it pings your phone or your email, so you know. What'd you say?
Don't badmouth Carol Baskin. That's another good safety one.
Yeah, but like all of us that have channels and stuff, we were all going into our security settings. Like, I won't even lie, to make sure everything was good to go. So
yeah,
just good reminder to everybody to make sure you got all your ducks in a row, because nobody wants to be hacked. It's annoying.
No, it's bad.
And it's funny. I mean, not funny, but it's, they do it to Tabitha, and we don't know for sure, but we think it's because she used to know the Mean Girls and the Mean Knitting Girls, and so we,
it's like we have no substantial evidence, but at the same time, there are mean girls out there. This is a mean girl tactic.
So yeah. So other than that, the knitting world's been kind of quiet the past week or so. Not terribly much happening that I've seen. So
I mean, there's a new weird Ravelry picture watercolor.
Yeah, but it's less weird than the other one.
Yeah. Besides,
it's like a dude in drag knitting or something, but it's fine.
Yeah, besides the bit from Cassidy about how we just need to end gender norms, I'm like, then what? It's sort of like the Boris Johnson had his thing about how we need a more gender, we need to build back, better and more gender neutral and perhaps more feminine. And they're like, which one though?
Well, and
like, we need to end gender norms, but we should not be conformed to gender norms, but we should be able to do whatever gender norm that we like. I'm like, which one? Like, what?
Yeah, you can't have everything. No, before we started recording today, Anna and I were talking about how different families work, and I was talking about getting ready for our friend and how, like, there was just some stuff on my husband's list that I was like, you are doing that. Mm-hmm. And like, every family is different, and so saying like, oh, you can't have gender norms, well, in my house, I might do the laundry, and somebody else's house, the husband might do the laundry. Like, it's whatever works for you and your family. I don't know why things are so gendered in general.
Yeah. And
like, is there much that goes on besides like having babies that is a male or a female thing?
I know. I think you could like do a sort of scale of what is often the woman's job and what is often the man's job, but it's not like a locked in, to be female, you must be the one who does the dishes. It's like, well, in my household, the husband helps with the dishes. Like, oh no, like, no, it's
right. And like,
if you find that most households the wife does the dishes, that doesn't make it any like less of a thing that needs to be done for everyone. If in the other it's just
right. And I know, like, traditionally, like, females are the cooks. I cook because we have to eat food, but like, when my husband has time, he is a much better cook than I am, and he can do something like take a packet of ramen and an egg and some vegetables, and like, we have this meal that's delicious. Right. And me, I'm like, I gotta cook again. All right. So it's just crap. Yeah. The whole thing.
All that to say, it doesn't need to be that regimented. Like,
No, and every house is different. And if you live alone, I guess you can't adhere to gender norms because otherwise you'll be naked once all your stuff gets dirty and nobody's there to wash it. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Right. And it's, I don't know, it's the back and forth between like gender norms don't matter. And so, that in order with a lot of the transgenderism, it's like to be a woman, I must wear the pink dress. And it's this back and forth between the two. And it's like, look, do what you like, but things are not as cut and dry as,
You guys might not know this, but Anne wears a skirt almost all the time, right? You very rarely wear pants.
Yeah, I wear, again, occasionally, but mostly I wear.
Yeah, and you want to know how often I wear dresses? If I'm in a situation where I am forced to wear a dress, such as a wedding or a wedding. I can't think of the other. Like maybe I've worn them like if my husband takes me out to a fancier place, but very rarely. And if I do wear a skirt, I have to have like leggings under it because that's when I'm comfortable. Right. So it's all crap. This whole like, oh, you have to be. No, it's all crap. Just stop. Right. That's what I gotta say.
Well, and then okay, like no, because we're doing the webcam all the time, nobody knows if we're wearing pants or skirts or anything. But
I've done this in my pajamas often, honestly.
Yep.
Because you guys can't tell, whatever.
Exactly. And today you came and see my awesome Awakened Patriot shirt with the Lads Need Dads.
That's excellent.
Which is, I love this shirt. I especially love that it's like kind of a Mr. Rogers font to it too. That it's very, I love it. Anyways, and I guess that's a fair enough intro into our British segment, because Lads Need Dads is a Lawrence Fox phrase talking about, well, a lot of people talk about how having a father in the home is one of the greatest ways to prevent crime. That there's so many crime statistics that, young boys who don't have, again, either a father in the home or some sort of strong male figure in their life, that just crime right up, different, likelihood to drop out of school, likelihood to commit crime, like all of these issues. And what is one of the largest factors in statistics. So anyways, yeah, it's a neato shirt. Awakened Patriot has it. It's pretty cool.
I think Awakened Patriot is on a break this week. Somebody was having surgery. So if you go to their shop and it's not, just FYI, they'll be back. They're just off for a second. Don't worry.
All right. Don't panic. She wasn't done person. Not yet. But anyways. But yeah. So introduction to British segment. So this is not something that is like big news on the American side of things. But Matt Hancock, who is the health secretary in England and has been getting up on the podium to, say, stay home, save lives, all that waffle. Anyways, so he was just caught having an affair with his aide whose brother has a lot of health contracts with the government. It's really wild how that happens.
Isn't that weird?
It's crazy.
So funny. What a coincidence.
It's really crazy when you're like having an affair with this toad of a man and suddenly your brother is making bank. It's like wild. But
interesting.
Anyways, that there's a couple things in connection with that. Like, some really great Matt Hancock phrases that have aged well. Like there was an email scandal with this guy who left Johnson's cabinet. I'd say administration, but again, there's different terms. And Matt Hancock said on the scandal that he was too busy saving lives to keep up with the story. Also, great Matt Hancock phrases are that people should, not look at, they shouldn't go around looking for new partners, and they should stick to established partners during the COVID pandemic. Again, aged really well. And in addition to this, both Matt Hancock and his aide are married, and there was a man from the Church of England, and they were talking about it, and he said that it was a bigger hypocrisy, or a bigger shock and scandal that he broke COVID regulations in his affair, and then when someone was like, yeah, he also had an affair, and he's like, oh, well, like the man from the Church of England was not surprised or not shocked that a man cheated on his wife with a married woman. That was like, oh, well, that happens all the time. But breaking those COVID regulations, that's the real hypocrisy. I'm like, look, dude.
It's just another example, too, of how little the regulations truly mean.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they were really, really important and needing to be adhered to, these people who are in charge would be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not. So I don't know.
It's a rules for thee and not for me.
But if it really meant something, stay home, stay safe, whatever, they would be doing it.
Right.
Why are all these people not doing it? Like, why don't people question that? I don't get it. Anyway.
I don't. Well, and then to skip over to Australia, so for a dozen cases, 13 million Australians are locked down right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you have a map of the sort of, I'm gonna miss what the word is. It's not provinces. It's not states.
Aren't they provinces?
Maybe they're provinces.
I don't know. Australian friends, you can correct us.
Exactly. I apologize for not knowing the districts.
But Australia is like kind of flat on the bottom and then it curves up, right? Like it's kind of and like all of this is locked down and there's like one spot in the middle.
Right.
That's like not locked down, but it's still orange, which I don't know what that means, but something's going on there too.
Yeah, there was an article shared around about this little town called Alice Springs in Australia. It's 800 people and it survives off tourism, and they have one case and they're shutting the whole thing down. And it's like, people can't survive on this. And not only that, I mean, they're pushing vaccination always, but that every medical person in Australia should be vaccinated, and this job should be vaccinated, and that job should be vaccinated. And they've finally said, by the way, risk of heart inflammation. It's like, yeah, the thing that you were saying you couldn't have, FDA says risk of heart inflammation. Yeah.
Last night on my prayer chain, we got a notification that somebody's a church member's niece's husband passed away. And he was young. They had just gotten married and he was getting ready for work. And the first thing I thought of was, because he had a heart attack. Right. The first thing I thought of was, did he have a vaccination? Like, I didn't ask because that would be completely inappropriate. But
no, but there's been weird heart problems in young people after this.
And I mean, I don't know anything about them. I assume that he must be younger if they're just getting married. Generally, people are younger when they're getting married.
Yeah.
And knowing the age of this guy, I mean, it makes sense. But it's this heart problem thing. Like, it's a big deal. People are dying and stuff.
Yeah. Well, even people who've watched us for a while will know our friend Vone, that her mother-in-law got blood clots and is paralyzed after this. Like, this is horrible and serious stuff.
Yeah, that is awful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. But the vaccine's gonna fix everything, except that it's not actually going to fix everything. And oh, by the way, you still have to wear a mask and lock down because the Delta variant is very scary. I want to know how many of our viewers are actually scared of the Delta variant. Like, have they milked this too? Like, if the Delta variant had come out 6 months in, would we have been more scared of it than we are now?
Probably.
Would we have taken it more serious?
They had other variants that they were talking about 6 months in.
I know, but this one is supposed to be really, really bad.
Oh, so bad. Is that like the one that was going around India that was like a flesh-eating disease, except it actually totally wasn't?
Maybe, but you know what I mean? Like, if the timing was different, would we feel differently about it? Because right now I hear it and I just like turn the channel. Like, I just don't even care anymore. And it's terrible, but that's what they've done. They've desensitized us to this crap so much that now I'm like, oh, great. Cuomo's going to make me wear a mask again. I'm not wearing a mask again. Screw it.
Exactly. And that's sort of the whole thing, like with, you know, Australia, who shuts borders in between areas and, you know, track and trace and all of that. But even the Australians who, again, I was watching Sky News Australia, so different videos of police there. My goodness. Like, you know, women getting dragged out of cars and different stuff by police officers that this is for your safety. Like, oh boy. But even Australia is getting sick and tired of it, and it's about time.
I know. There's so many places that I think are more compliant than us. I don't know why they are. I don't know if it's just because they're smaller than the US, or I have no idea. But
different culture.
Yeah, people need to stop. Yeah, culture. I'm sure that's a lot of it. But yeah, I don't know. I've gotten so sick of this crap that like I don't know. And now they want to move on. I'm gonna go on a vaccine rant if I keep going, and I don't want to. So
right.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Well, I don't know if you guys heard, because a lot of us have gotten away from watching Fox News, but Tucker went on his show like 2 days ago and was talking about how he got a tip that the NSA was spying on him.
Yeah, that the NSA guy, that there was like somebody, you know, again, in the NSA, whistleblower who told him about a story that he could have only possibly known about if he was reading Tucker's own text messages. Yep.
His emails and text messages, he said that because nobody else knows about it. So, you know, but now the NSA is like, oh no, we didn't do that. No. Right. So they
NSA put out a statement like, no, we're not spying on Tucker. But specifically, they said that Tucker Carlson was never an intel target. Well, that is a little different than saying that you're not spying on them. Who aren't you spying on? You know, like,
right. But they filed the Freedom of Information Act to the NSA and to another, the Department of Justice or something. I don't remember exactly who the other one was. But he was like, you know, we know that we're not going to get any information from this, but we're hoping that it kind of forces their hand. Like, you know, let them know we know what's going on, kind of thing. But some crazy stuff. Yeah, so Big Brother is always watching.
That's right.
And I found out something really interesting this week. Mark Zuckerberg, who is the owner, CEO of Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah, whatever, he puts tape over his camera and his microphone when he uses his laptop.
Yeah.
Why would he do that?
It's crazy.
I don't know.
It's as if
I did that, people would be like, I was nuts. Yeah. It's almost like he knows something, isn't it, Anne?
Crazy.
Freaking nonsense.
It's wild.
So, yeah, that's what I know about that. I think we're going to keep it short this week. Our guest is coming in shortly, and so I have a few more things to do before that happens. But thanks for joining us this week. Thanks, Anne, for watching the news for me since I've been too busy. And we'll see you guys next week.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe. We're on YouTube and Rumble, various social media platforms in the link below. Also, feel free to give Tabitha a shout out, see what happens to her, see her new video whenever it does come out. Because my goodness. And thank you again to everyone who entered our contest for the giveaway. And Nancy, please email us.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Have a good week.